I have tried to dismantle you, Gideon Nav. The ninth house poisoned you, we trod you underfoot. I took you to this killing field as my slave. You refused to die, and you pity me. Strike me down, you've won. I lived my whole wretched life at your mercy, yours alone, and God knows I deserve to die at your hand. You are my only friend, I am undone without you. O corpse of the locked tomb, she prayed silently to herself, the cold death to anyone who looks at me in pity. The heat death to anyone who looks to me in amusement, the quick death to anyone who looks at me in fear. All right, what's up, fantasy fans? I'm Shay from the channel Zachary Shay, and first, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's liked, commented, subscribed. It's helped me immensely in trying to get this channel going. I believe this is video 16 or 17, and yeah, doing pretty good. I'm hoping to hit 100 subscribers by my birthday, which is near the back end of January. So yeah, just 100 subscribers. It's not a crazy goal, but it's mine. Yeah, so today I'm going to be reviewing The Locked Tomb by Tamsyn Muir. Well, less of a review. Well, a review, yes, but also a why you should read for the series overall, and what I think some might like about it, what I enjoyed about it, and what I'm hoping others might take from it and enjoy as well. All right, so what is The Locked Tomb actually about? Okay, so I got book 1, Gideon the Ninth, book 2, Harrow the Ninth, and then book 3, Nona the Ninth. All right, so this is all set up in book 1, Gideon the Ninth. So the story begins, and there are 9 houses that serve the Necrolord Prime. All right, so the Lord Undying, Necrolord Prime, is his house is the first house. So the other 8 houses serve this first house. Our story begins when Gideon Nav, our title main character of book 1, is trying to sneak away from her planet, her ninth house that she's been entrusted to since her birth. You don't know why, and all of a sudden the reader is then thrust into this. So each of the 8 houses have to send a necromancer and a cavalier to the first house to kind of like they have what are called lictor trials, and we don't really know what lictors are, but we know that they're supremely powerful beings, more powerful than a necromancer. So each house has to send a necromancer and a cavalier, which is kind of like a swordsman guard for the necromancer, to the first house for the lictor trials. And basically, Harrowhark, which is Gideon's necromancer, her cavalier is kind of a coward, kind of craven, not really suited to the role of cavalier. So what Harrow does is she entrusts the cavalier position to Gideon, which is a girl that she's kind of belittled and bullied for most of their lives. And what we get in this is book 1 is kind of this haunted house in space / escape room, but the real heart of the story is this bond between Gideon and Harrow that we really explore throughout this first book. And well, I don't believe it's the best relationship in the series as far as book 1 goes. I did think it was very well executed, and I thoroughly enjoyed Gideon the Ninth. I would have given it 4 stars. Now, this is where my opinions differ from most. Is most people really enjoyed Gideon, and I see a lot of love and hate for Harrow. It's kind of a 50-50 split, and then most say Nona is the weakest in the series. I disagree. I gave this 4 stars. I gave both of these books 5 stars. I thought both of these were phenomenal. Now, to better understand the series, so each book, So to better understand the series, each book follows a different titular character, book 1 being Gideon, book 2 being Harrow, book 3 being Nona. So in Harrowhark, instead of a haunted house in space, we have this kind of stream of consciousness. So we're met again with Harrow, who is probably the deuterotagonist of Gideon the Ninth, the second most main character. And what we're getting is a character study, but also a mystery of how did she get to where she is in Harrow the Ninth from the ending of Gideon the Ninth. There's some interesting, thought-provoking stuff going on with like memory and identity, and I thought it was phenomenal. The use of second person in this book actually like really bumped it up to that 5-star spot. I thought it examined character in a very interesting way with that second person POV. And yeah, I haven't seen second person POV done this well, except maybe Seven Moons of Alameda in the Book of Elsewhere, which are two of my favorite books. And then book 3 is a coming of age story about Nona, and it's also a found family story. There's a group of children in this story that I think are very endearing to read about, but also her kind of family members, which are, her found family is also made up of characters that have appeared prior to book 3, which kind of makes you as the reader identify with them, even though we're only getting, young Nona's point of view. All right, so I also want to talk about, aside from the setup of each book, I want to speak on the characters that we're getting. So first and foremost, the real heart of this series is Gideon Nav and Harrowheart Nona Gesimus, and their kind of bond. They're kind of like enemies to lovers, but more like enemies to friends to lovers to soulmates. But it's not as cut and dry as most enemies to lovers stories. It's which is not a trope I'm usually fond of, but in this is it just the care that is given to their relationship really makes this series shine. I think Gideon Nav is a perfect character. Her brusqueness and her really like her swagger, her out of pocketness makes her the perfect counterpoint to Harrow's more reserved. She's a nun. She's a nun of the ninth house. She's studious. She's got all this weight on her shoulders. And I think she needed a friend like Gideon Nav. So some other characters that I found really remarkable. I think most people that read this, these will be their favorite characters, but Palamity Sextus and Camilla Hecht. I believe they're from the 5th house or they're from the 6th house. I haven't finished this. I finished the series like 4 months ago, so bear with me. But I do remember the relationship between Palamity Sextus and Camilla Hecht is one of the highlights of the series. I preferred it myself. This maybe, I know a lot of people love them. I will say right now, I prefer their relationship and their friendship over that of Gideon and Harrow. Also, some other characters that are really compelling: Ianthe and Camilla Tridentarius. Um, Ianthe is not necessarily a likable character, but she's always entertaining on screen. Anytime she comes onto the page, she leaps off the page, she grabs your attention, and I just thought Ianthe was a great character. I also love seeing Camilla have so many similar traits to Ianthe, but them still feeling like very distinct characters. And Camilla, if anything, she's even more complex than Ianthe. You don't really know what drives her sometimes, and you want to like her, but at the same time, you're kind of wary because she does show a lot of traits that are very similar to Ianthe. And then also another character that, again, not to get into spoilers, I'm not going to go into too much of his character, but Necrolord Prime, his character I also think is very, very nuanced and was a joy to read. All right, so my final rating, I would give Gideon the Ninth a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was a 3.5, then I thought it was a 4.5, and I just have to settle on 4 stars for Gideon. And then Nona the Ninth is going to be an Harrow the Ninth, unapologetically 5 stars. My favorite in the series. I'd give it 6 stars if I could. And then Nona the Ninth, which is most people's least favorite, I also gave 5 stars. While I didn't love it as much as Harrow, I still thought that this was a remarkable book, and I thought she did coming of age so well. And I just loved seeing Palamides and Camilla in this one. And yeah, so that's my why you should read The Locked Tomb. If you've read The Locked Tomb and you want to give me your opinions on it, go down in the comment section, tell me what you thought of the series, and tell me what else I should read. If going off of what I enjoyed about The Locked Tomb, is there anything else? Oh, one final thing that I forgot to go over, which I outlined in my script, was the dialogue and the prose of this series. It has amazing literary value. I think the actual technical writing aspects of the book really if you're not a big genre reader, I do think there will be something to enjoy in these books. I think they have immense literary value for as pulpy fictiony as they can feel at times, and for how much they feel like genre fiction. They also, I do think, hold literary value. Maybe not on the scale of like a Malazan series, but it's definitely up there. And yeah, I really enjoyed the Lock Tomb. Peace.